If Making Known with Mal is truly providing you with valuable content, consider becoming a Patreon. You can become a Patreon for as low as $3 a month. This podcast isn't just for me, it's for us, all of us. Your contribution will help the podcast continue to improve and reach everyone that needs to hear this. Also, consider ordering some really cute merch. We have things from stickers to t-shirts, and they're all available at www.makeitknownwithmal.com. Thank you so much for listening. Hi everyone, you're listening to Make It Known with Mal, and I'm your host Mal, and I'm really excited about today's guest. I have this amazing woman who is the founder of Makeup America. Her name is Rhonda Fahmy, and she's just going to talk to us a little bit about her business and about who she is, and just another lesson for the 20s. So yeah, anyway, let's get started. Rhonda, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Sure. Hi, Mal. It's great to be with you and all your listeners today. My name's Rhonda Fahmy, and I'm the founder of Makeup America. We're a new Made in America beauty brand based in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. And, it's interesting, Mal, because my background is not a typical founder of a beauty brand. I actually have about 30 years of a career in law and politics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But about 3 years ago, what I realized is that there's no real beauty brand that's fully made in America and branded as an American cosmetic brand. And I've always had a dream, and my dream has been to be the founder of a beauty brand. I always say I watched one too many episodes of Shark Tank. And I said, hey, I could do that. And then you ask yourself, what doesn't exist in today's markets? And the realization came to me when I looked around and realized, you know what? I'm looking at all these packages and where they're made and how they're made. And I thought, well, we're putting this on our faces. We lick our lipsticks 100 times a day. We put
That's so true.
mascara and eyeshadow on our eyes. And so that's a little bit about how I founded it. But, happy to answer all your questions today and anything from your listeners.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. So, all right. First, I absolutely love that you did not start off in the beauty field, that you just switched basically almost to like something that is the exact opposite. Because I feel like in politics and in law, you have to be a little bit more, you're not as like fashion oriented, I guess,
Right.
is what I'm trying to get at.
Or creative.
So yeah, exactly. You're not really creative. And I love that.
Yeah.
So what specifically inspired you to do, has you always wanted to do a beauty brand since you were a child, or is it just something you have come up with like over the last couple of years?
Right. So I probably, like you, Mal, and all your listeners, I'm a huge consumer of beauty brands. Okay. Ever since I was little, I loved playing with makeup. And then when I was old enough to wear it and buy it, mostly, starting off with, the drugstore brands because they were affordable. And when I started to work, I would treat myself to like an expensive lipstick. And so I've always been a lover. I've been, a user of beauty brands, but my real inspiration came when I traveled around the world for my previous jobs in politics.
Ooh.
And I would go everywhere in the world, traveling internationally. And, I found it quite interesting, like why there were so many beauty sales in the duty free. Why, when I walked through duty free, was there perfume, lipsticks, beauty brands, and mascaras? And my goodness, there must be a huge market. And so my legal political background kind of prepared me for the research. Once I started to dig into it, what I realized was, the biggest consumer of beauty products in the world, okay, I would never guess what the answer is. I would think maybe Japan or China or even the Middle East, but it's not. The biggest consumers of beauty products in the world are right here in the good old USA.
Really? Wow.
So, it's interesting because I couldn't even spell entrepreneur before this. I had the opportunity to get my MBA, but didn't want to do it. I went straight through law school without getting an additional MBA. So to answer your question, it was really an interest of mine, but I didn't go into the entrepreneurial side until a couple years ago. And I have to tell you, it's never too late. I did this in my 50s, and it's a real career change and it's a real risk-taking venture. But I truly believe I have something here, and I truly believe in time we will be America's beauty brand.
Yeah, wow, I love that. I love that, and I love that you saw a need and you decided to fulfill it.
That's
I
right.
love that.
I always say I found a white space and I filled it with red, white, and blue. And
Ooh, that's cute. I like that.
right. And the thing that I realized again that most American women don't realize is when your makeup isn't made in America, you don't know whether it's healthy, it's safe,
Mm,
whether there's child labor being used to manufacture.
mhm.
You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know what their regulations are, okay, for manufacturing and what the environment is. And if you care about organic, if you care about our environment, if you care about your own health and safety, then you should care enough to look at the packaging and try to find out where it was made. I will tell you this. If you look at something and it does not say made in the USA or made in America, then it isn't. And if it isn't, then it doesn't live up to our standards here in America, which is really, really important. The other way I really knew I had something as a lawyer, again, this came very, very, very handy. I decided, okay, I'm going to create a beauty brand. Okay, what doesn't exist? One that nods to America's spirit of diversity and independence, freedom and resilience. Okay, Rhonda, what are you going to name this brand? Well, why don't I name it something so simple it's stupid, right? America. Okay, I'm going to apply for the trademark thinking I would never get it because the way trademarks are granted is if it's two words, usually pretty frequently used in a language or in society, they won't grant it because it's, just it's used too much, right?
Okay.
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 So those are kind of the legal standards, but I put makeup and I put America together and I did Makeup America. And 6 months later, after I applied, when I was granted the trademark, that's really when I knew, oh my gosh, I'm onto something. And then, oh my gosh, the fun part started. What are you going to price it? I'm going to price it at 1776 and 1376. And then
Love
the
it.
names, right? I thought I'm going to start with lipstick and nail polish because I like lipstick and I like nail polish, and I'm going to match the lipstick to the nail polish, and I'm going to call them sister sets, for a bond that that creates a bond for a lifetime. And then I'm going to name them things after America's most recognized icons: Lady Liberty by Dawn's Early Light, Sandy Shores, Natural Glory, Independence Red, Gold Standard. Those types of things that have a nod to America's history. And it was easy. That part was easy and creative. And once I got the trademark, it was away we go. So I am planning to expand the beauty brand to everything from
That was going to be my next question.
yeah, I'm already anticipating it, right? Yeah, so I'm so excited about my phase two, which will be additional colors, but it'll also be like foundation,
Nice.
mascara, right? Palettes of eyeshadow and blush, but I don't want to expand too quickly. But I'm very excited about the phase two because I've got some great names lined up as well as great quality. And the other interesting thing that I can't wait to produce is I am going to do foundation. Now, everybody knows how hard foundation is, right? To match
Mhm.
color. So instead of doing 100,000 different shades, okay, like every, brand is doing now, and you buy one and it's never right, is Mal and Rhonda are not the same color in July that they are in, say, December.
That's the truth.
No matter what your skin tone and color it is, I'm a woman of color. My skin tone right now is very dark. It's July and I'm in the sun. Okay, look at me in December and I'm a totally different color. So you better not be using the same
Yeah, I'm the same way.
right, in July that you're using in December. So what I intend to do is create a new formula of foundation that you purchase either, light, medium, dark. Let's just, start with the basics. But in the way that the jar will be designed, there will be additional liquids. that you can mix in with the foundation that will adapt to your skin tone.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like that.
So it's a very personalized foundation, a very personalized, because, color cosmetics you can buy, blushes and lipsticks and things. But really with foundation, and certainly I'll do a palette of under eye, cover. Everybody needs it. I need it, dark circles.
Yeah, I
And
love
that's
it.
an easy one too, because if you do a palette, you can mix it, mix the colors to put the right
Mhm.
under eye cover underneath your eyes. So, but with foundation, it's really tricky. So anyway, that's what's coming in phase 2, as well as a men's line.
Ooh, okay.
We're going to do a men's grooming line because men's grooming is really hot right now. So again, I'm in the trademark process called, it'll be called America for Men, M apostrophe America, because they don't want anything with makeup in it, but it'll
Right.
be America for Men. And it'll be a line of very, blue and white and red, very toned down equities, no fragrance, no frills, men's grooming line that hopefully will expand the line as well. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited.
That's awesome. All of that sounds really cute, and I'm really excited, and I'm excited to support and like to shop and get all the things.
Thank you. Thanks. That's what we'd like to hear. And let me just mention for your listeners today, I'm going to offer 20% off their total order with the
Oh,
code America20. So if you go to our website at makeupamerica.us, that's makeupamerica.us, as in United States, and use the code America20 for our good friend Mal, we will give you 20% off everything.
ooh, that's so great. And I will leave all that information, everyone, in the description as well. So you can go and like do that. They have really, really cute stuff.
Thank you. Thanks.
So my next question. So I am also in politics, and I was getting my master's in law, and that's like that's politics is definitely my passion.
Right?
But I also have a jewelry store. I've been making jewelry since like the 5th grade, and like my mom would like our church would have like almost like a flea market type thing, and my mom would sign me up, and then I just bring a few pieces. So I've always had also that entrepreneur side of me.
Love it.
And I love like I love those both. Like I don't know which one I love more, like doing entrepreneur stuff, because also I mean the podcast is very entrepreneurial as well.
Absolutely.
And I just love politics so I love them both. My question for you is, has being in politics and law and stuff like that, has that helped you with business?
Oh,
Do you think that's helped you like marketing and networking and stuff like that? And
definitely.
how has it?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say there are definite portions of it that have helped, and there are definite things that you have to learn just on the job, right? So, with respect to my background in law, absolutely, I could read a contract and sign a contract like nobody's business, right? I
Right.
can, if I need to do a manufacturing contract, I know what the terms are. I write it myself. I can register things. I can, register my company as an LLC or a C corp. I can put all my investment documents into place. So I can do all of that. So that's the good news. So the politics side is great because it prepares you for a lot of highs and lows. So in politics,
That's true.
politics as a career is a labor of love. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You also, we have a saying in Washington: "Put your flak jacket on," and that means the bullets are coming for you, right?
Hmm.
You got to watch your back, and people are gonna say nasty things to you because they don't agree with you politically, particularly in this day and age. It's gotten worse, and what
Hmm.
that does, it prepares you for all the no's you're going to get, or all the nasty comments people are going to say about you or your brand, or all the untruths people may start to say about things, and that's when your legal side kicks in as well. So the politics, as I always say, you don't need everyone to say yes. You only need one yes. So when someone says to me no, I'm like, oh yeah, just brush it off my shoulder. I'm used to that because politics prepares you for that. Politics prepares you for things that sometimes you can't control, which are other people's reactions. So I would say those two careers for sure. Now, what I was not prepared for, and what I do learn on the job, and it is a very generational thing, is nowadays entrepreneurs have to be very, very experienced in social media. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle because of my age generation. I struggle. I struggle to learn. I am learning on the job. So I learn about, social media. I learn how to promote my brand online. I can do what I call traditional media. So I've done television, launched my brand on TV. I did national television twice with
That's
my
so
brand.
cool.
Yeah, so that part I'm good with. And of course, your law and politics background, prepare you for presentation. But the name of the game here is finding your niche client. Mal, I know exactly who my customer is. I know exactly who she is, right? I can give
Mm-hmm.
you the rundown of who she is. The big Easter egg hunt is trying to find her, okay? And with all this noise on social media, you have to really, really find your particular customer. And that has been a struggle. That's been the struggle, is really finding your customer online through social media is really one of the only ways. So I'm on all the platforms. I'm on Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course LinkedIn. But LinkedIn primarily, I'm on there for investors. I connect with investors on LinkedIn. But with everything else, I'm finding my customers. Most of my customers come from Facebook and Instagram, hands down. No question about it. It's also a generational thing. My older customers are coming from Facebook. My younger customers are coming from Instagram. I also appear, of course, at pop-up events around the country. And those events have proven to gain a lot more exposure, as well.
That's how I found you.
Yeah, that's how,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And even email works with people, but you don't want to bombard them. So like I said, the name of the game and the struggle has really been, and I've learned along the way, is how to find your customer online. Now, even before COVID, honestly, retail was struggling, and I wasn't quite sure I wanted to go into retail first. Okay. I wanted to build my brand, and I still do want to build my brand with a solid online presence, direct to market, direct to consumer. And then I'll go in, because mostly what's happening with retail is your brand gets noticed, it gets, visuals with the retail, but you don't make a lot of money in retail, because the cost of displaying your products are so high.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really something for people to sort of see and try your colors on. But now with COVID, I mean, retail has suffered so much.
Yeah.
And even though people are hankering to get back to shopping, I'm not sure it's ever going to recover the way it was before. More people really are the, online consumers, and that's how they
Yeah.
want to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, so I would say, my background's really helped me with a lot of things. I can pitch any investor. I can pitch any television show. That to me is so easy because of my legal and political background. The business side of things, like I said, that's been a learning experience for me.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. That has given me some things to think about too, just like for myself and anyone listening. If you were interested in doing something like that, I think she gave some really good insight that not a lot of people share. Um, so my next question is
Mhm.
a business question basically.
Mhm.
If you could give 3 tips to
Mhm.
future entrepreneurs, what would they be?
Yeah, sure. Definitely. So my first tip would be, especially if you have a consumer brand like I do, um, really make sure you find the right manufacturer. And of course, you know what I'm going to say, preferably a manufacturer made in America,
Yeah.
because we really do need to bring jobs back here, obviously. And with everything we're going through, we need to be America, about our neighbors, about creating
Yeah.
a better life for our neighbors and our economy. But um, make sure you have the right manufacturer. Why? Well, it took me a long time to find mine. And, the sad part about it is that most cosmetics are not made in America. So every time I call the company, do you manufacture? all of your cosmetics from soup to nuts, right? From the boxes to the labeling. I can tell you everywhere that everything that I put on my products come from. Indiana, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Dallas, Texas. I can tell you where every component comes from. And, I would say number one, make sure you have a good, solid, trustworthy manufacturer who's doing the work for you, if you're not creating it yourself, and that supply chain is solid. Okay. So what happened with a lot of brands? They went downhill, particularly in the beauty industry, because, a lot of the products that they had ceased to be shipped into America during COVID. Okay. They didn't have
Okay.
they didn't have supplies, and in some cases it's okay because they weren't selling anyway, but other cases it wasn't, they're backlogged. So that's my first piece of advice. Make sure you have a great manufacturer. The second thing, of course, I'm going to say is legally. Make sure, if you're not a lawyer yourself, or even if you are, go hire one, to do all of your agreements, to set up your company correctly, to make sure that you have the right URL in the websites. So I really strongly believe that part of business really is legal, because it is going to come back to bite you if you don't do something correctly. And the third thing really has to do with your online presence. Again, so important to have a really, really good online presence. And I'm not talking about just your social media. I'm talking about a website. So please invest in, more so than in buying Facebook ads, is, to invest in a good online social media presence for your brand. So if you're doing jewelry now, make sure you've got this gorgeous website where you can drive people to when they can't come to your shows. They could buy your stuff online, because people are doing it all the time now, especially when they're home. I know I procrastinate when I get a little, tired of doing what I'm doing. I'm like, let's see, what can I shop for now? Right?
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah. Yeah.
people are doing right now, and they want to go to a pretty website and they want to buy things. So those would be my three pieces of advice.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I mean, the social media aspect is huge. A good chunk of the brands that I really love and support,
Mm-hmm.
I found on social media, and they have interacted back with me, or they have like reposted a picture I've posted. Like,
Right.
that is so important.
Absolutely. And, as people say, you have to grow organically, right? So you don't buy followers on your Instagram. You don't do all of that. You try to find people organically who really believe, and you try to engage with them and talk to them. And someone asked me the other day, when's phase 2 coming? I love your products, and
Yeah.
I talked to them about when phase 2 is coming. So social media is important. What I've also done too is just, engage not only, followers, but people who have lots of followers, so influencers, if you will. And, I've had mixed reactions and mixed results from influencers. In the beginning, I really didn't find it was that helpful. And then what I found is that, the irony of all of this is that you give influencers either your products or money in exchange for them promoting your products, right? That's
Right.
kind of the way it works. But how do you expect to get a real honest assessment of your products if you're giving them free products? I mean, I've never experienced where I've given people free products. They've said, "Oh, your products stink. They're terrible." They're all going to say they're
Right.
great, right?
Right.
But if I'm on the other end of that as the consumer, I'm going to say, well, of course they're going to say it's great. They got free products. So what I realized after that was you really have to find somebody who's enthusiastic about your brand, who has a lot of followers, who, when he or she says, this is a really good lipstick, it stays on for 24 hours, the lip stains, or I love your lip scrub. That it's legitimate. Yes, I've given the products, but when they say that, their followers say, oh, wow, I'm going to try it too. If you think it's good, I'm going to try it too. So that's been an interesting marketing aspect. And then We recently launched a very exciting campaign that has brought in a lot of followers and a lot of customers called America the Beautiful.
I've
So,
seen that, yeah.
yeah, in light of COVID, because of COVID, of all of our, not only just the health professionals and the first responders, but what I call the essential workers, people at the local, 7-Eleven or Wawa, where I am, the
Mhm.
people at the Acme at the grocery store. I sympathize. I was a grocery store worker myself at one point. These are people that are essential, that are keeping our economy going and keeping us going. And so we just donated 100 of our Prepare and Protect kits, which is a lip scrub, a gorgeous sugar lip scrub with a beautiful natural lip balm made from aloe from the fields of Texas. We just donated 100 of those kits to all the
Love
healthcare
that.
workers. Yeah, at South Georgia Medical Center, which is on the border of Georgia and Florida. And the COVID cases there are really, really spiking. They are working overtime. And we just wanted to do something that would, make them look beautiful while they're working so hard. And they really, really appreciated, they really needed lip balm because their lips are getting really chapped when they cover them up,
Yeah.
masks. And
Yeah.
they're also washing constantly their hands and their faces. So the lip scrub helps kind of, exfoliate their lips as well. So we were really proud to do that. So we've got a lot of different ways that we've been gaining real loyal customers and supporters of Makeup America.
Yeah, and I love that you guys are doing something to give back. I think that's another thing that people don't think about, that
Yeah.
people love to see that, and it's a good thing. Like, it's something that's positive, and not necessarily that I believe in karma, but like I just think like when you're doing positive things, some positive things can come back to you as well. And that's a
Absolutely.
great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question before your make it known statement. Um, so if you could tell your 20-year-old self something, what would you tell her?
Oh, what would I tell my 20-year-old? That is an easy one, Mal. I honestly, you know what I would tell her? I would tell her, trust your instincts. So
Oh, okay.
when I was 20 years old and something would happen, I would just sort of say, no, that can't possibly be right, right? When
Yeah.
your intuition is telling you something is wrong or something is right, trust your intuition. Please trust your intuition, because at 20 and 30, I would slough it off and say, no way. Now, in my 40s and now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like, no way. If I don't think that person is a good person, I'm probably right. Okay. So I would tell my 20-year-old self, trust your intuition. If something is not right, don't do it. If something is right, go for it.
Oh, that's good. That's good advice. I'm honestly like how you said, like I second guess things all of the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I've been telling myself to like be better at that, because you're right. Like for the most part, if I generally get a sense that this person's a little sketch, 9 times out of 10 they are, but I
Mm.
always like try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But your intuition knows.
Absolutely. And you don't learn that. You learn it the hard way. Okay. You learn it the hard way when something happens and you're like, oh my gosh, I was right. Something was telling me I wasn't right, but I went ahead and did it anyway. And then, you know, this is what
Yeah,
happens, right? So
yeah.
but it's okay. That's what life is about. It's about making mistakes. But I think as you get older, you tend to take risks, a lot more, but you
Hmm.
also tend to learn from your mistakes. Like, whoops, I've seen this one before,
Yeah,
so you know not to go into it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so before you make a note statement, can you just give us one more tell us really quick where to find you, and yeah, I guess like on the social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find us online at makeupamerica.us. You can find us at Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest at Makeup America US. So we're on all social media at Makeup America US, all one word.
Perfect. I will also leave that in the description, everybody, too, so you can easily just click it and follow and then shop some really cute stuff. Okay, so last question is your make a note statement. And this time, if the entire world right now was listening to you, what would you say?
I would say this, that many beauty brands don't make their cosmetics in America, and therefore they cannot guarantee the quality and transparency of ingredients, the testing on animals, the abidance to health and safety regulations, and quality control within manufacturing environment. You have our pledge here at Makeup America that we have all made in America beauty brands that guarantees your health, your safety, a great US economy, and you can feel good while you're wearing it. That's why our motto is do good, look great.
That's perfect. Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you I know you're very busy and you taking time out of your day to do this. I really appreciate it, and keep it up. I'm so excited for phase 2. I love the products that I have now. And everyone, thank you so much for listening. You will hear me again next Monday. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Make It Known with Mal. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new. Make It Known with Mal is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Overcast, PocketCasts, RadioPublic, and iHeartRadio. So if this was a beneficial episode for you, wherever you're listening, make sure you subscribe, rate, review, and share with your friends. If you take a picture listening, make sure you tag Make It Known with Mal on Instagram, and I'll repost it. I'm currently accepting applications for sponsors. Also, if you're receiving value from this podcast, please consider becoming a Patreon for as low as $3 a month. Find out more on my website, www.makeithknownwithmal.com. You can also find merch and a list of all the freebies that are available. Thanks again for listening, and have a good rest of your day. Also, ask yourself, if the whole world was listening, what would you say? Don't forget to make it known.